trading are just unbelievable. And there's two ways to handle it. Cut your size and double your stops because the range and volatility are so much greater than they normally are. You can make your normal business plan and not really change the risk reward formula. But in John Bottomley's world, you got a shot at making 1 to 2 full points. In our world, in the note, you got a shot at making a full point. The E-mini, 10 to 20 handles. So it's wonderful times. We should rejoice that we know how to do this. The other thing is that if you're a long-term fundamentalist, all this debt that the world took on over the last generation really is being unwound right now. It's not over. The deleveraging, that means economic contraction for a lot of countries around the world. Those that are debt heavy, and isn't it great that we know how to play the short side of the market? Most ventures and endeavors require at least a sideways or stable economy. It doesn't matter to us. We can take advantage of unique situations around the globe. We can take advantage of selling in the stock market, etc. Economic contraction. So you're in the driver's seat once you get this game figured out. Right now, yesterday we left the market wanting to be a buyer. We had a heavy sell-off as we did after we did our announcement in the stock market. There was an article that hit on the hour out of Europe that said that credit default swaps would explode if something isn't done quickly. And then there was the announcement of the Greek referendum. The combination of those two took the E-mini down, and it closed on its lows at what, 1249.50, and when it reopened, the selling continued, and right now we're down to 1217.50. I had a 130 as my resistance point. Now we have the long-term distribution on the right side of the market. Let's go back into history right now and pick off these price points that are above 130. And for those, how do you do these where do you get your support and resistance price points? The starting point is always market numbers in every market. What's the market number, Charlie? The buck, 16, 8, 24, then 4, 12, 20, and 28 in this contract. So you just mark off these price points all the way up, and you see what you have out there. I had 130 as initial resistance, and as you come across, you can see we had an A period high right there. The next level was 4 to 5.5. We have a Y period high that I believe got to 6. Then we have 8. We have the spill that comes out of there. We've got this volume area, and so on and so forth. So the numbers that I came up with this morning are matched in the distributions. And you can see that probably the cleanest break is this 20 area to 12. So 12 to 20 is probably the cleanest break in the structure. Any questions on where these numbers come from? The price index scale, right? But you go back in and you find in the data pivot point highs and lows that are, see if they match those numbers. There is no way to get around market numbers in any of these contracts. They just trade that way. And 430 seconds is worth 1 basis point in the cash market, the 30-year, which is why they trade that way. Okay, where did the Y period go? Right to the high volume number. Well, duh. So the resistance I started off at 30, but we're past that. So 4, then I had 8 to 9.5. 12 is a little dent, this 12, 13 area. 15.5 is a little dent, so that's where the numbers came from. On the downside, you'd have to make the buck now, number 1. Last rotate down in X was 26.5, so that would be 2. We've got volume at 23.5. We've got this pretty clean breakdown at 15.5. So you can just see how this volume works and these low volumes, etc. So that's where the numbers came from. Frankly, it's going to be what happens with the news. And Alec pointed out this morning that the vote in Greece will be done on open ballot, written ballots. And if your constituents know how you vote, if you vote for the referendum, even though it allows Greece to pay their bills, they're desperate for money. They don't have the cash flow to pay their next round of bills. Then the voting for the referendum is imposing austerity, budget cuts. Government workers will actually be fired, and Greece has been the most vocal in their opposition against that. So there is no solution unless somebody's willing to write a check for $3 trillion. And Germany is who everybody looks for, and their economy is about $3 trillion. Okay, here's 130. The last rotate down was this 26 area. So 24, 26 would be another area. And then we have the breakout right here, which would be at 30 to 28. So I'm guessing 28 is probably the first little band of support. So the 25 to 29 would offer us some advantage. And if we could get a trade on in this high volume area right here, we'd have time to deal with it. So that's basically the area that we're going to lean against and see what happens. ISM index is at 52.1. If it comes in like at 51, 51.5, should support the financials. Construction spending is called up 0.3. Should not impact the trading at all. So we'll have a little reaction to the ISM news, and then it'll be back to what the Greek announcement is going to be. And my guess is we're probably open to that news from 11 o'clock on Eastern. Peak buying right here. As far as, and you could just see that width of that bar came on this breakout when they took out the buck. Certainly stops up there. Net cumulative buying, so somebody was still willing to play it all the way up to 04. So we'll see if we can get back down in that 24, 28 area. 30 seconds off of 04 puts us down at 28, and that usually will pause the market. Okay, the E-mini got whacked yesterday afternoon. The Treasury announcement of $305 billion in new funds required for the quarter was not the article that kicked everything off. It was the credit swap article in the Greek referendum. Okay, here we got down. I thought we had a pretty good shot at the 10 to 15 area. We had that break at 10 to 12 and 15 at 17. So this area right here could be pretty good support for us. We've come a pretty long way. I mean, we've come, what, 30 points in the overnight session? So started off with basically resistance in this 28 to 30 area. Across some of these low volume numbers. Then had 35 to 37, picking up London's high in this L period high right here. And we got this little dent right at that point. Then our 40 to 42 picking up this low volume area right here in this mode. On the downside, started off 20 to 22, but that's behind us. Then had 15 to 17 picking up this low volume number. We might have excess down here. And they've taken the market off quite a bit. So if we come back down and we can't crack the 1215 area, it holds, then the aggressive bold trader can get long to see if we can get back up and into that 1225 area. Then I had 7 to 10 picking up that high volume number right here, and that's where the numbers came from. So we'll see how that plays out. I've got to pay attention to the news today. I mean, you just cannot get around it. Okay, I'm redoing my long-term distribution on my F4 screen. I had it at 5,000 to highlight the volume in that 1275, 1290 area. Delby just tagged me. Won't take too long. So I didn't get to save my rebuild. I'm taking from 5,000 to 25,000. Save that so it won't happen again. And at 7:54, we may have had a piece of news hit the market. We'll have to go back and take a look at that. Could be that final hunt for stops, too. You never know in this contract. Lots of games are played. Okay, now, I have a lot of reasons to be short the stock market. Everything I read underneath the surface, other than the fact the Fed's pumping money into the economy, says the economy is slowing. I don't know if we're going into recession or not, but I do know that most of the stuff says that we are slowing. And I couldn't understand why we were as high as we were based on what the solution is proposed out of the EU. There was nothing there, period. I mean, it was just all I guess, of dreams. Okay, looking at just the structure right here, 22, 26 to 28. And then very, very clean break here at like 32.50. So that's where resistance is. Getting stops, going back up and basically getting stops above 25, I think, is a play that would be pretty easy to do. But if we don't get through 22.50, then we've got to get short to retest this low down here at 12.12, 12.13. Got a low volume number at 15. Got another low volume number up here at 30, and we've got volume really between 25 and 20. So here's your high volume area right here, the attractor. And we'll see how it plays. Definitely want to be short. ISM comes in greater than, say, 52.5, can give us a little bounce. Comes in less than 51.5. Take us down a little bit, but the focus is what goes on in Greece. So would like to sell the 24.50. Gives us a little wiggle room up there to 26.50. And then we'll play for 29.50. 31.50, basically leaning against 32.50. And then you got to take out 12 to 13 to stay short. And if 12 to 12.13 holds, then the aggressive traders can trade from the long side to see what happens at 22 to 27. Any questions? We'll be looking for the announcement out of the Greek Parliament today, and we'll see what we've got. I just don't see any way for the EU to be doing anything but dissolving over the next couple of years. The amount of money that it requires to hold that thing together and the resentment it creates in the electorates. I mean, I'm a German and I'm going to pay for those Greeks that only know how to print money. They don't know how to save. Are you kidding me? I'll still get to go to vacations down there, but I don't have to pay for it twice, if you know what I mean. So good trading. Let's get after it. I'd hope to buy 25s to 29s, then against that high volume area. They came back and just got stops below 130. E-mini stopped its rally at 21.50, 21.25. So we'll see where we are later.